COVID-19 pandemic, global efforts to control the pandemic, vaccine distribution, and variations of the virus. SpaceX Crew Dragon launch, multiple crewed missions to the International Space Station using SpaceX's Crew Dragon Perseverance rover landing, successful landing of NASA's Perseverance rover on Mars in February 2021. Tokyo 2020 Olympics postponement. The Summer Olympics were postponed to 2021 due to the COVID-19 pandemic. U.S. Capitol riot, protests and violence at the U.S. Capitol on January 6, 2021. Myanmar coup, military coup in Myanmar in February 2021, leading to widespread protests. GameStop stock surge, unprecedented stock market activity involving GameStop and other companies in January 2021. Amazon rainforest fires, ongoing concerns about wildfires and deforestation in the Amazon rainforest. Israeli-Gaza conflict. Escalation of conflict between Israel and Hamas in May 2021. G7 summit, held in Cornwall, UK, in June 2021. Addressing global economic and political issues. China Mars mission, China's successful landing of its Zhurong rover on Mars in May 2021. Global vaccine rollouts, efforts to vaccinate populations against COVID-19 worldwide. Beirut explosion, massive explosion in the port of Beirut, Lebanon, in August 2020. Brexit. The United Kingdom officially left the European Union on January 31, 2020. U.S. election and inauguration. Presidential election in the United States in November 2020 and the inauguration of Joe Biden in January 2021. Hong Kong national security law, China's implementation of a controversial national security law in Hong Kong. Armenia-Azerbaijan conflict, escalation of tensions and military conflict in the Nagorno-Karabakh region, Black Lives Matter protests, ongoing protests advocating for racial justice and equality. Australian bushfires, widespread bushfires in Australia during the 2019-2020 season. Navalny poisoning, Russian opposition leader Alexei Navalny's poisoning and subsequent recovery. European Super League, controversial plans for a breakaway football league in Europe. Ever Given Suez Canal blockage, the Ever Given container ship blocking the Suez Canal in March 2021. Mars helicopter Ingenuity, successful flight tests of NASA's Mars helicopter Ingenuity. Himalayan glacial burst in Uttarakhand, India, causing a devastating flood in February 2021. Ethiopian Tigray conflict, ongoing conflict and humanitarian crisis in the Tigray region of Ethiopia. Quad summit, leaders of the Quad nations, USA, India, Japan, Australia, meeting to discuss regional and global issues. World Health Organization, WHO, response. WHO's role in managing the global response to the COVID-19 pandemic. Climate change agreements, international discussions on climate change, including COP26 in Glasgow. Hong Kong pro-democracy movement, continued protests for democratic freedoms in Hong Kong. Jeff Bezos spaceflight, Amazon founder Jeff Bezos suborbital spaceflight with Blue Origin. Nagorno-Karabakh ceasefire agreement between Armenia and Azerbaijan in November 2020. Pfizer-BioNTech vaccine approval, emergency use authorization and distribution of the Pfizer-BioNTech COVID-19 vaccine. Kamala Harris vice presidency, Kamala Harris becoming the first female vice president of the United States. Hurricane season 2020, active Atlantic hurricane season with notable storms like Hurricane Laura and Hurricane Delta. AstraZeneca vaccine concerns and debates surrounding the AstraZeneca COVID-19 vaccine. Global economic challenges, economic impacts of the COVID-19 pandemic, including stimulus measures. Ghana becomes COVAX first receiver, Ghana receiving the first shipment of COVID-19 vaccines through the COVAX initiative. Turkey-Greece earthquake diplomacy between Turkey and Greece following earthquakes in both countries. Ethiopian Grand Renaissance Dam dispute, tensions over the Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam's impact on the Nile River. Indian farmer protests by farmers in India against agricultural reforms, tensions over the Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam's impact on the Nile River. Indian farmer protests by farmers in India against agricultural reforms.